So today I am going to give you my opinion of using really big stuff on really light wind. I normally ride a 60-liter board, stick with 5.0 wings or smaller. So today I am going to ride 7-meter north mode, and I am on an Army, and that is about 7 feet, 20.25 inches wide, 107 liters, and a huge ass Nash front foil, which I believe is a high aspect 2140. So anyway, there's really nothing here. I mean, there really aren't any whitecaps either. The only reason you might see them is because the sun is shining pretty bright on the water. But anyway, let's give it a shot and see how it goes. Woo! Well, that was a fantastic session. I like big gear, and I cannot lie. I highly recommend it. I got my mast, and on the Armstrong setting, I put it at 10 on the back side. It seemed to work great for me. The foil was great, felt very comfortable, got me up real fast, and it didn't drop me when there was no wind. And even when I wanted to go fast at higher speeds, it held on. When I did get up on the foil, it was kind of weird to look down and see about 4 feet of board behind me. The mast is so far forward on the Armstrong, it probably helped with the pivot point. I was able to make some very quick turns, very comfortably. Again, did not feel sluggish, didn't feel like a beginner board at all. Definitely had a great time. I will tell you this, there were a bunch of wingers and kiters hanging out on the beach, and they looked extremely frustrated, standing there with their arms crossed over their chest, but not being able to go out. I was the only one on the water. We're talking, I'd say the wind was going between 3 to 7 knots, and nobody else but myself, which was a lot of fun. Probably won't be long now before everybody else figures it out and starts buying this gear. The tacks felt real smooth, easy, quick, but I did have a little problem with the regular and flag out jives. When I cut down wind, I actually outran the wind to where my wings started to get backwinded and coming back at me while the board kept going forward. So it made it very challenging to exit. Instead of doing regular jives, I did race jives or duck jives. The entrance, middle, and exit of the jives were far smoother and far easier. So I guess with a big wing, I would recommend doing those instead of regular jives. So I tried to do a bunch of different things, variations of 360s, variations to tacks, variations to the jives, and they all felt pretty comfortable. Some of it felt like it was in slow motion. I didn't try any behind the back stuff because I just felt that maybe the wing and the gear was too big. So the first few times I tried to get up on foil, I did it the way I normally would, which would be to pump the board and the wing at the same time. And be pretty aggressive with it. I found that I was losing my balance on the board, but I was also bearing the wing into the water, so I just kept, losing all the effort I was putting into it. So what I ended up doing, and it worked wonderfully, was once I stood up on the board, I would point it slowly downwind and wait for a little bump to catch the back of the board, and it would just push. All of a sudden the board would just push itself downwind, and all I had to do was nothing with the wing and just pump my feet a few times, and boom, it immediately went up. Now when it does go up, the front end of it goes up awfully quick, so you really have to shift your weight to the front of the board to then flatten it out. But once again, I was doing nothing with the wind or the wing, and just letting that bump push the board a little bit, and it was up and going. Getting on it, piece of cake, 107 liters, a lot of flotation. I'm actually used to grabbing the boarding and pulling it under me, where this time I had to actually crawl onto the board, but then I could stand up and not have to rely on any wind in the wing to help me get in the standing up position. And of course, I wouldn't fall backwards even when there was no wind in the wing. I think the shape of the Armstrong boards with the front being rounded was very helpful in not letting me fall over if for some reason I ran into the bump in front or the wind died and it slapped into the water. It was very easy to get it started up again. And once again, I think the design in the back with the flattened back and the dovetail finish allowed me to get a really, really good push even off the tiniest of bumps, which again, what amazed me was the fact that I could just lightly pump the board and not have to worry about the wing at all and get up on foil. So overall impression, I was very impressed with the big gear. It felt awkward at first, but once I got used to it, it turned extremely nice. The crispiness of the material on the wing and the handles made maneuvering very easy. Was able to even do a few freestyle tricks. And again, I was the only one out there. Nobody else could get out there. It would have been a day that I would have either stayed at home or sat on the beach looking at the water. So this is definitely a game changer. I was able to get out there, enjoy myself on the lightest of wind and have a good time. It was not mowing the lawn. It was not boring at all. I highly recommend these new downwind boards for winging, and I wouldn't be shy about going big with the wings now, because I think the technology has changed so much that they're a lot more user friendly. So I give a big thumbs up, and get out there and spend that money. It's only money, and you need to have a garage full of toys.